Promulgation of Universal Peace by Abdul Baha Abbas. In the differentiation of life, in the world of existence, there are 4 degrees or kingdoms: the mineral, vegetable, animal, and human. The mineral kingdom is possessed of a certain virtue which we term cohesion. The vegetable kingdom possesses cohesive properties plus the power of growth, or augmentive power. The animal kingdom is possessed of the virtues of the mineral and vegetable plus the power of the senses, but, well, there are senses of plants too, apparently. The animal, although gifted with sensibilities, is utterly bereft of consciousness. Again, plants have consciousness and microbes have consciousness. Absolutely out of touch with the world of consciousness and spirit. The animal possesses no powers by which it can make discoveries which lie beyond the realm of the senses. It has no power of intellectual origination. For example, an animal located in Europe is not capable of discovering the continent of America. It understands only phenomena which come within range of its senses and instinct. Well, humans really only do too. It cannot abstractly reason out anything. It can reason out all sorts of things, but it's not always true. It has no power of intellectual organization. It understands. It cannot absolutely reason. The animal cannot conceive of the earth being spherical or revolving upon its axis. It cannot apprehend that the little stars in the heavens are tremendous worlds, vastly greater than the earth. The animal cannot abstractly conceive of intellect. Of these powers it is bereft. Therefore these powers are peculiar to man, and it is made evident that in the human kingdom there is a reality of which the animal is lacking. What is that reality? It is the spirit of man. By it, man is distinguished above all other phenomenal kingdoms. Although he possesses all the virtues of the lower kingdoms, he is further endowed with the spiritual faculty, the heavenly gift of consciousness. All material phenomena are subject to nature. All material organisms are captives of nature. None of them can deviate in the slightest from the laws of nature. This earth, these great mountains, the animals with their wonderful powers and instincts cannot go beyond natural limitations. All things are captives of nature except man. Man is the sovereign of nature. He breaks nature's laws. Though an animal fitted by nature to live upon the surface of the earth, he flies in the air like a bird, sails upon the ocean, and dives deep beneath its waves and submarines. Man is gifted with a power whereby he penetrates and discovers the laws of nature, brings him forth from the world of invisibility to the plane of visibility. Electricity was once a latent force of nature. According to nature's laws, it should remain a hidden secret. But the spirit of man discovered it, brought it forth from its secret depository, and made its phenomena visible. It is evident and manifest that a man is capable of breaking nature's laws. How does he accomplish it? Through a spirit with which God has endowed him at creation. This is a proof that the spirit of man differentiates and distinguishes him above all the lower kingdoms. It is this spirit to which the verse in the Old Testament refers when it states, "And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness." That's a bit of a misunderstanding, but the spirit of man alone penetrates the realities of God and partakes of the divine bounties. This great power must evidently be differentiated from the physical body or temple in which it is manifested. Observe and understand how this human body changes. Nevertheless, the spirit of man remains ever in the same condition. For instance, the body sometimes grows weak, it becomes strong or stout. Sometimes it grows smaller or may become dismembered. But there is no effect upon the spirit. The eye may become blind, the foot may be amputated, but no imperfection afflicts the spirit. This is proof that the spirit of man is distinct from his body. Defects in the body or its members do not imply defects in the spirit. This leads to the accurate conclusion that if the whole body should be subjected to radical change, the spirit will survive that change. That even if the body of man is destroyed and becomes non-existent, the spirit of man remains unaffected. For the spirit of man is everlasting. Sometimes the body sleeps, the eyes do not see, the ears do not hear, the members cease to act. Every function is as inactive as death. Nevertheless, the spirit sees, hears, and soars on high, for it is possessed of these faculties which operate without the instrumentality of the body. In the world of thought, it sees without eyes, hears without ears, and travels without the motion of foot. Without physical force, it exercises every function. This makes it evident that during sleep the spirit is alive, though the body is as dead. In the world of dreams, the body becomes absolutely passive, but the spirit still functions actively, possessed of all susceptibilities. This leads to the conclusion that the life of the spirit is neither conditional nor dependent upon the life of the body. At most, it can be said that the body is a mere garment utilized by spirit. If that garment be destroyed, the wearer is not affected, but is, in fact, protected. Furthermore, all phenomena are subject to changes from one condition to another, and the revolution caused by this transformation produces a form of non-existence. For instance, when a man is transformed from the human kingdom to the mineral, we say that he is dead, for he is relinquished to the physical form of man and assumed the condition of the mineral substances. This transformation or transmutation is called death. Therefore, it follows that no phenomenal organism can be possessed of two forms at the same time. If an object or phenomenon presents a triangular shape, it cannot simultaneously possess the shape of a square. If it is spherical, it cannot at the same time be pentagonal or hexagonal. In order to assume any given figure or form, it must relinquish its previous shape or dimension. Thus, the triangular must be abandoned to assume the square. The square must change to become the pentagon. These transformations or changes from one condition to another are equivalent to death, but the reality of man, the human spirit, is simultaneously possessed of all forms and figures without being bereft of any of them. It does not require transformation from one concept to another. Were it to be bereft of one or all figures, we would then say it has been transferred to another, and this would be equivalent to death. But as the human spirit possesses all these figures simultaneously, it has no transformation or death. Again, according to natural philosophy, it is an assured fact that single or simple elements are indestructible, as nature is indestructible. Every simple element of nature is lasting and permanent. Death and annihilation affect only compounds and compositions. That is to say, compositions are destructible. When decomposition takes place, death occurs. For example, certain single elements have combined to make this flower. When this combination is disintegrated, this combination is decomposed. The flower dies as an organism of the vegetable kingdom, but the single elements of which this flower is composed do not suffer death, for all single elements are permanent, everlasting, and not subject to destruction. They are indestructible because they are single and not compound. Thus, they cannot disintegrate nor become separated in their compound atoms, but are single, simple, and therefore everlasting. If an elementary substance is possessed of immortality, how can the human spirit, our reality, which is wholly above combination and composition, be destroyed? Nay, rather that spirit which is all in all is a unit and not a compound. Its destruction, therefore, is not possible. The spirit of man transcends the qualities and attributes of any natural element. It is greater in attributes than gold, silver, or iron, which are single elements and indestructible. As they are free from destruction and qualified with permanence, how much more so is the human spirit free and immortal? How will that ever be destroyed? This is a subject of great importance. There are innumerable proofs in support of it. I hope that we continue it in another time. Before we leave, I desire to offer a prayer on behalf of Miss Farmer, for verily she's been the founder of this organization as the source of this loving fellowship and assemblage. And there are many proofs as to why we don't have an eternal universe, but we can't create and destroy matter according to our wishes. Or we can't really. We can bring out